Hi everyone. Sorry if I look a bit of a mess. I'm doing this early morning because today, the 4th of June, I have woken up this morning and grabbed my phone to look at what the time was and saw I had loads of messages and such on Facebook, loads of things. I was like, oh god, what's happened? And I've looked, and this terrible attack on London has happened, in which 6 people have been killed and like 50 injured, and it's heartbreaking. It's a really terrible, terrible thing to happen, and obviously everyone's got Manchester in their mind still and everything, and with the concert tonight for to raise money and that for the victims and such, it just feels like a really rubbish day. And when these kind of things happen, I throw myself into reading and such. I spent all day writing yesterday, which was really great. But I really want to read something, and I finished the book I've been reading this week. So I thought, right, now this early morning. I want to do my review now. I want to pick the book that I'm going to be reading next and just delve straight into that today because I need it. I just need it. And of course, all my thoughts and prayers for everyone in London at the moment. I'm really, really taken aback that we're going through this again, a third attack, terrorist attack since March here in the UK. And that's just, God, okay, rubbish. But, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about the book that we've been reading this week, and that has been Versailles by Elizabeth Maisie. This is based on a screenplay of the series 1 of Versailles, as you can see what the Versailles, series cover. And so, yes, it's based on a screenplay by Simon Mirren and David Wollstonecraft. Now, this follows, in case you haven't watched Versailles or anything, this follows Louis the 14th and him creating the Palace of Versailles. And basically, he shifted all of his court to Versailles, which is where his father's hunting lodge was, and expanded it into the palace as we see it today. But he basically, by doing that, he kind of put everyone on a lockdown in the palace. He knew everything that was going on with everybody. The various courtiers have to follow certain routines. They had to be a part of his procedure of like getting dressed and having breakfast, and they had to witness various things, and it was full of drugs and gambling and sex and all this stuff going on. So it was naturally it's a perfect thing to make into a drama. Now, the series 1 drama aired because it's really good because it's Canadian, English, and French produced series. It was shown in France ahead of any other country in the world. And they're showing series 2 at the minute here in the UK. There's like 3 more episodes to go. But series 2 is completely finished in France. They've commissioned a third series. I think it's already started filming. So we're gonna have a third series. Yay! I really love Versailles. It's the complexities. The characters are amazing. I adore Philippe, Louis's brother. He is awesome. But yeah, it's all about Louis and him being a king, and also the thing of spies in his palace and how things he did. Like each series has had a certain theme to it, and so they brought a book out based on the screenplay. Now, I've never read any of Elizabeth Maisie's work before, so I was going into this very fresh to her work, and I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this. How she describes things, I do, she does well with what she does. She sticks very close to the screenplay in regards to, so for example, The 10th Kingdom that I read, I saw last year or earlier this year, I can't remember, that was based on the the first screenplays that were written. So there were changes, as it were. This doesn't really. It's just straight follows exactly what happens in series 1, which is fine. I like the way that she structures things. She keeps it simple, because for example, like this is like about 300 pages or something. Hang on. Oh no, sorry. 419 pages, covers the whole of series 1. The whole of series 1 is about 10 hours long. So, you know, there's a lot of information and such she got to cram in here. So she keeps it very simple. Anybody could pick this up and have no problem reading it. It's not bad structured. I like it. I like that. What I don't like about it is that she either chooses to not elaborate on stuff that I wanted her to, or it's just a case of she just had the screenplay, you know, a bit of paper in front of her, said, this is the idea of what's going on in the scene, write it. And these are the words of what people say, write it. Because what I mean by that is there is so, the lavishness of Versailles and the palace and everything is a huge deal in this, and the visual things in, you know, in the series are absolutely stunning, and how that counteracts with the darkness of what's going on and spies and secret messages and such. It fits beautifully, but in the book she kind of just goes, it's a lavish palace, and then she doesn't really refer to it anymore. You know, she doesn't. You don't have that balance between the dark and the light, the lavishness of Versailles and what it meant and how honoured it was that you were there and such. She doesn't quite get that balance right. It's very. I kind of feel like Versailles is the TV series. It's, you know, up there, 100%, da da da. And she is kind of straggling about 60% for me in regards to getting the bold and the bash and all that lot. I mean, there's a character in this, Philippe's lover, who the moment that you meet him, it's like, oh my god, he's, you know, wow, I really like it. But when they introduce him in this, he's not that, you know, it's like, oh my god, there's guards at the door, oh god, you deal with your brother Phil, you know, kind of thing. He doesn't have that strong personality. She doesn't convey it in a way. Now you could argue that it's you know, the fact that she's just got a page with text on it. She doesn't know how the actor is going to convey these words or play this character. I totally get that, but then at the same time, it's not like this is just a one-off line, as it were, of this is how his personality is. He's like this all the way through, and all the way through series 2 as well, and how much she adores Philippe and how he completely cocks it up and all this lot. It's just, he's such a great character, and he's reduced to this kind of whiny, pathetic man in this book. It's, yeah, I enjoyed the read, but at the same time, I found myself really frustrated with it because it wasn't the Versailles of the TV series. Unfortunately, that's, you know, that's how I feel. She's very interesting in how she describes sex, because there's quite a bit of it in Versailles. That's, you know, but well, not loads, but, you know, it's quite graphic and everything. But she kind of reduces it to very small detail and such. I'm not saying I want like 50 Shades of Grey, like graphic details or anything, but because like some of these moments, when we see sex portrayed in the series, it's about power play. It's a crucial moment. It's about, okay, Louis is having sex with his mistress and how that affects the queen and who can hear them in the next room. It's a really, really important moment. and she doesn't really go there. She doesn't. Yeah, she's kind of like, yeah, and then they have sex. Right, next time, just carry on. She just, yeah, she kind of blanks over certain things about that, and that kind of was a bit irritating to me. So even though it's based on the screenplay that I love, and from a TV show that I love, it just doesn't convey the world to me. It doesn't convey the characters in the same way. It doesn't convey the situations in the same way. And because of that, as I said, TV series for me is up there at 100%, and she's straggling along about 60. Yeah, it's not that great. And annoyingly, I know this is the screenplay issue again, but I'm going to do a comparison to the 10th Kingdom book again as a book of screenplay, in that she very when a scene ends in any series, you have a scene and it jumps to somewhere else, and it jumps to someone, it jumps to. She's like that with her writing. There is no natural flow to it. So yeah, scene's over, cut, line underneath, go to the next scene. It can be quite choppy, the writing, because of that. Now, if we look at the 10th Kingdom text, which, as I said, is adapted from screenplay that I've read either earlier this year or last year, I can't remember which, that book has a flow to it, and it doesn't, it just, the way that it deals with going back and forth is that sometimes it will stay for a little while longer on a scene, or sometimes it'll say, meanwhile, as the group were, making their way through the forest, they weren't aware that over in the Fourth Kingdom, yada yada yada, was happening, and then that's how the flow leads through. But she doesn't. She just like ends a line, dash 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 on the page. Next line is the next scene. And especially the ending is really really frustrating with that. Because there's an ending sequence with Louis, and he's having a physical altercation with somebody, and it's chopping back and forth with another scene. And to be fair to her, for that moment, she does stay with Louis, which I would prefer rather than her chopping back and forth. But the ending of the book, with various sequences and such that are happening, because there's so much stuff going on in that last episode, it's insane. She just goes, after Louis' fight, she's like, right, blunt, but one paragraph, da 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 da, and you feel kind of oh gosh, I can't think what the word is, disconnected, that's it, sorry, from everything, because you're told, right, you're shoved here for a couple of lines, then here, then here, then here, then here. It's like we don't, oh god, what the hell's going on? And that's just like how they end the series, where you're seeing all of these characters and what they're doing in that moment. So the ending, it felt confusing. I really disconnected. I didn't like the way that it ended, because of the way that she wrote it. So I think with this one, it's one of those ones where, yes, it's an adaptation of a screenplay. I get that. There's going to be, lots of movement and everything, but it wasn't well structured for a book. It didn't float my boat. Let's put it that way. If they bring out a second one, I wouldn't be interested in reading the second series, even though yes, it had its good parts and everything. The way that it conveyed certain events and the way it portrayed characters, it didn't work for me. I'm sorry, it just didn't work. It's the way I felt. Sorry guys, but Now, if you want to watch this thing that it's based on, which is absolutely amazing, you can get Versailles Series 1 on DVD and Blu-ray. Series 2, because it's still got like 3 episodes to air here in the UK, that will be coming out. I think it's I think it's on my birthday it actually comes out, or maybe the week after my birthday. So yeah, I may be making that a birthday treat to myself. So yeah, I'll be getting Series 2 Blu-ray. I have to say, Series 2 hasn't been as strong as Series 1, but still very enjoyable. So yeah, so I would strongly recommend Versailles to you. It's absolutely beautiful. They film it at the Palace of Versailles, as well as other locations around France. The cast is fantastic. As I said, I absolutely adore Philippe. He is awesome. The King's brother. Their relationship is so interesting. I've actually bought a couple of books about Louis XIV from watching Versailles, but I haven't got around to them, so they're in my jar at the moment. But yes, I strongly recommend Versailles to you. The book, not so much, but the TV series, yes. So there we go. So that's my thoughts of reading Versailles by Elizabeth Maisie. If you read this book, I'd love to know what you think. You can either leave me a comment in the comment box below, or give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Entirely up to you. I'll let you decide. And I'll be back soon with announcing what book I'm going to be reading next. And as I said, for people of London, all my thoughts and prayers are with you right now. And everybody who's been affected by any terrorism attack. Today's a bit of a crappy day. But as I said, I'm going to announce what the next book is I'm going to be reading, and I'm going to delve into that today to escape from what's going on at the moment. And yeah, love you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.